Hello, this is Brian Resney, President of Resney Wealth Management. I'm bringing you an important update about the economy and the investment market, so hopefully you can better your portfolio. We continue to see improving data sets around the world, although in the last week we've had a couple just weaker data signs on the initial claims on the jobless side. Job numbers still get better, though just a little bit weaker, but the averages, the intermediate, long-term, and short-term on all of these are improving. At the end of the day, we want to see improvements. We don't want to see deterioration. I wouldn't be shocked that by year end we see many of the equity-based markets higher than where they are today. Over the last week or so, we've seen a little bit of volatility on the downside. Remember, folks, things don't go straight up every single day. But if you follow an investment strategy that's been proven to work over time, I believe you have an excellent chance of making a good return. I think the problem that too many investors today face, though, is they listen to too many news broadcasts where one day they're hot, one day they're cold, one day they're hot, one day they're cold. This goes on and on and on through all the major news stations, and you hear things that make you make bad decisions with your portfolio. The main key to investing is following an investment strategy and looking at where the trends are actually occurring, and are they getting better or are they getting worse? We've got earnings coming out that just started actually a couple of days ago with Alcoa, and they beat the numbers. That's a huge positive in my book. I think we will see decent earnings coming out as this quarter unwinds, first quarter of 2012. I think there'll be a lot of shocked investors that have really either been sitting on the sidelines or have not actually been invested the way they should have been this year. I think as we see earnings that come out, companies are actually getting a lot of pent-up demand. I talk to a lot of not only business owners throughout the week, but a lot of individuals, and I always ask questions about what they're currently seeing or doing, especially on the business owner side. And what I'm starting to hear more and more is business owners saying, we're seeing pent-up demand, we're seeing a little bit of marginal improvement, and they plan on that getting better throughout this year. That could bode well for the U.S. economy. And while we could have maybe a short-term correction, 3 to 4%, I believe ultimately, if we keep seeing these improvements, I think earnings will continue to improve, and earnings really drive the overall, not only economy, but the stock market returns. If you're seeing improved earnings, historically that is translated into higher stock market numbers. And I believe if you're looking at the areas that are relatively strongest, which I talked about last week, we continue to be in small and mid cap in the U.S., small cap on the emerging market side, large cap in the U.S., and then REITs throughout the world. I believe investors right now need to have a dedicated approach to their portfolio. We use relative strength, our global tactical. And by the way, if you go to our website, resneywealth.com, we just put in there our information about all of our back-tested studies on our portfolio. So you can actually see how our portfolios have done on a back-tested study and why we have decided to make those available to investors like you. Go to resneywealth.com. Go to the tab on the top, and you'll look at our active investment management strategy. Click on that. It'll talk about what we do, how we do it, how the portfolio is actually done on a back-tested strategy. And I think more important than ever, and I've talked about this many times in my radio show, you as an investor, whether you're using somebody or not, any investment strategy before it's actually used should not only be back-tested to get an idea if it's worked in the past. Not that it's a guarantee that it will work in the future, but it gives you a good indication that it's worked through multiple market cycles. As an investor, shooting from the hip or working with a so-called advisor or broker who sells you a basket of investments and you buy and hold, remember, folks, that's not an investment strategy, and bad investment advice will not fix itself. Go to my website, check out some of our strategies and what we do, and as always, we always like taking on new clients who are nice people who want to better their situation. If you're finding the advice you're getting is just not working and you're second guessing that advice you're getting, call my office for a consultation. It can't hurt to talk. We do deal with qualified investors that have minimal investment assets, but call our office, see if you qualify. We'd love to sit down with you and help rebuild your portfolio and get your retirement back on track. Until Sunday show, make sure you have yourself an extremely profitable day.